Hello everyone, this is Gonzo. Welcome back to the Stick Swiper server. It's been a very long time since I've done a video on that. It's finally back up and running again with all the old guys on here and quite a few new faces as well. Um, Please excuse the poor commentary in this video. I haven't made a video in a very long time, so um, as you can see, this is the start of my base. So originally I was just hiding inside that mountain until the night time would pass, but finally I've got some walls. Um, as you can see, I've got a little bit started. This is just going to be a main sort of storage area. I realise now that there's not quite enough unique storage solutions, I suppose. So I'm going to have to start doubling stuff up as well. I've got the start to a usual mob system down here and a nice wheat farm and tree farm going. There is a world border on the server, for those of you who don't know, and that's caused some interesting things. I thought, even with a 750 block world border, I'd be able to find at least some clear land, and I did. When I logged on for the first time, I ran over to this mountain and just sort of thought, well, no one's around here, so I'll build. 2 days later, there's that over there. There's someone setting up over there. There was a PvP arena, which I'm pretty sure that was there before. Or these things might have already been there. I just might not have seen them, to be honest. I'm not all that observant, but yeah, I didn't realise how fast things move on this server as well. Everything is so well built up for a server that's only been going for just a few weeks. So that was quite interesting, logging on for the first time. But I've got a couple of things I want to do this episode. Obviously, I need to get some more permanent solutions to my oak wood and food, but I want to finish off this mob system because it's probably not going to happen now, but at night time I've noticed there's a lot of mobs around, and I am quite close to the world border, so unfortunately, even if I do get a somewhat decent darkroom spawner out of this, I'm not going to be able to light up all the caves. But of course you can't see any mobs, but before there was a lot of mobs around, so I'm going to hopefully tap into that and maybe get some drops from them and hopefully get TNT to go strip mining. But it does get quite dangerous after a couple of minutes, so ooh. Okay, it's quite tempting to go get some ender pearls, but I don't think I'd like to risk that at the moment. So the mob system so far is about 900 available spaces for the mobs to spawn. As you can see, there's a lot of pads in here. Eventually I'm going to add a lighting system. I usually only build these things when I can include that at the start, because obviously it's a pain in the arse to go through on a server and light these things up when it's full of mobs, but hopefully I'll be able to do that at a later point. And eventually I'd like to add something to stop spiders from spawning, and obviously 5x5 pads, if you have pistons underneath these blocks and then they push them up, that'll stop spiders from spawning completely. So that might be another project for later on when it's finished. And I'm obviously just using the sign and the water trick to push them all to one place with no dead zones. Hopefully I can get this thing up and running in this video, but let's just dig out some more of these canals. Unfortunately, I'm not all that rich on the server at the moment. I've been on there for quite some time already, but I just haven't mined. I don't know why, I just don't feel like going underground at the moment. Obviously I've got a diamond pick, and that's it. But I think I'm going to have to go mining at some point. I think it might be interesting to go caving and maybe record a bit of that as well. Of course, you're always presented with the problem of lag when you record. Oh, nearly got it. I have noticed with doing these kind of water streams, that if you have a section like... hang on a sec. I need to find a bit now. Yeah, if you have a water flow like this, where it's just pushing straight in one direction instead of against the wall, sometimes mobs can get stuck in the corner bits where a stream's pulling this way and one's pushing this way, because they swim up and then they get to this stair and then they get pulled upwards more by the next stream that will be sitting on these blocks, and then they get stuck against the corners. So I really don't feel like exploring any new solutions to that at the moment, but that's something to look out for if anyone watching this is building anything. But yeah, it's always a good idea to have some kind of angle, but I don't know if that's going to happen if I do have a stream like that though. Yeah, I suppose it's unavoidable really. It's a shame, but I suppose it's impossible to avoid dead zones completely, isn't it? But it's not. It's never going to be perfect, but abusing the spawn mechanics is... oops, I've forgotten the signs here. That's always going to be a dirty job. Oops. I've gone through so many pickaxes just digging this place out. It's unreal. But I'm just going to do some more off-camera work, and I'll finish digging these things out, and hopefully I'll finish this. But that's probably going to take about maybe half an hour. So I've finished all of the water channels now. One thing you might want to take note of, if anyone else here is building something similar to this, since baby zombies and things like that are in the game, they can clog up mob systems, which I found this out in my single player world, that it wasn't running quite as fast as it could because there were babies getting stuck like in places where water streams are like this, because obviously they're only one block high, and when they're swimming they don't hit these elevated water blocks. So it's always a good idea to have something to drain them away. I might move the sign to here actually and have this slightly bigger and put a slab there, so I can just collect them and then kill them as soon as possible, because then they're no good to me, because you can't really send them up to the surface for collecting, you know, to kill them for XP and things like that. You can't really do that with the babies, just because they're harder to control because of their size. So it's useful to filter them out and kill them as soon as you can. But obviously, that in my single player world, I have a guardian farm which is actually overlapping with that, so I have other issues as well. But yeah, this is pretty much done. I'm just going to have to fill up this tube with water, and then, well, obviously first I'm going to have to build a filter. But, oops. But yeah, I'm going to finish off this baby mob filter, which I'll start there, and flood this tube, which is going to take a while. Right, okay, so I've got the tube filled up with water now. And I've also, I had to go on a bit of a lava hunt to get something to kill the baby mobs with when I've sorted them out, but I did find some. There's actually a lake on the surface, and as you can see, I've got this sort of 1.5 block high gap, which then leads to the back there, and then there's a drop down to some lava, so that way I can separate the things out and then kill them, so I don't have to worry about them later on. So now, really, the only thing left to do is to get rid of the torches down here and to build some place up at the surface to capture them, at least to kill them until I can sort out a more permanent solution. Because obviously I do intend to advance this base and update it and things like that, so I'll have to build some temporary things before I can build anything, you know, set in stone. So let's just replace this floor, because obviously I can't have any torches down here because that will just light the place up. I'm not really expecting this thing to be super fast either. I know it's going to be pretty slow because it's on a server. So, and I've done little to no caving as well, so that doesn't really help. But hopefully, because it's quite a small space for so many players to be in, we'll you know, have some pretty well lit caves eventually. I think that's everything sorted. I know there's a cave near here as well because I keep hearing the mobs, but I'll finish that up another day. I don't really feel like going caving at the minute, so yeah, there's just a few things I need to do at the top before I take the torches out. Like, I don't really need to separate the spiders out at this point, so do I have any glass? That's a question. Oh, I have a little. That's not really going to be enough for what I need to do. Oh dear. I'm going to have to go get some more so I can finish this tube and just bring it to a place where I can kill them and then collect their drops. But there is a desert over this way, which I've been using for my sand, but there's also the PvP arena up there. Sorry about that. And I don't really know if I'm stepping on other people's toes by going over there and taking a little bit of sand, but I can see that they're doing the same thing, so I hope I'm not intruding on someone else's project there. But yeah, speaking of projects, there's Dig It just over that way, and holy crap, has that man been building? I mean, I just went over there, and yep, there's some pretty major changes since the last time I saw it. So hopefully we'll get a video on that soon. But for now, I'm just gonna. Yeah, this is definitely not gonna be enough. You know, I'm tempted just to build this out of dirt, just to have something. You know, just to kill them. Until I can get like a light system in there, so I can turn it off and on, and so on. You know what? I'm going to do that, just so I've got something to contain the mobs with. Although, again, I don't really expect this to be that fast, if that, to be honest. Because, of course, we've got other people on at the moment, so it's going to slow down the spawn rates, as well as the fact that nothing's lit up, so... Whoops. Let's see, how do we want to... You know what? I'm just going to drag it out this way. So the plan for this little temporary setup is going to be to pull the mobs out this way and then send them up to another tube just here. I usually like to separate out the spiders just because they like to block things, but I don't really feel like doing that at the minute, so I'm just going to build this, which is not going to look great, but it will do the job, so that's probably going to be about it. So yeah, I'm going to need to get a little bit more lava, and I'll probably just... Oh, I need some more signs as well. But yeah, I'm going to have a layer of signs here, and then some lava, and we'll just have the water push them over this way, and they'll swim up and die from that. Obviously, I think spiders, I might lose the drops for them, but whatever. To be honest, I don't really care. I don't use string for anything. I don't really need it at the moment, so by the time I've got this thing working properly, and hopefully I will, I'll probably have a more permanent setup that I can split the spiders out and get proper, 100% drop rate. But let's just get some signs on the go so we can build this thing. We need some there. Gotta love building out of dirt though, it's quality. I don't really know why I just did that with the signs, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So we need to do that, and then close this off. That's why I needed the signs again. Yep, gonna have to retrieve those. Oh, this is gonna be a pain. I got it. This is pretty much how I filled the whole tube up as well. Just had 2 buckets and sat in one corner and then pulled it from the, or filled up my buckets from the other corner, until I got to a point where I could get out. And there we go. And the last sign. Hopefully this will be enough to pull all the mobs apart. Yeah, that will do. I suppose having a hole here is probably going to be a problem if I stand about here, because skeletons might be able to shoot me, so I might have to... God, this thing looks a bit... yeah, I mean, it looks quality. Top quality. Yeah, I'm just going to go grab some more lava. I don't want to go too far over this way while I'm recording, just so I don't, you know, show things that I'm not supposed to show. So, yeah, I'm going to go grab some lava and then I'll be back. Oh. Look at how beautiful that looks. I mean, it's just quality. I got the lava. I've got 2 buckets instead of 1, just so I've got a backup if I need it. Because I do seem to be using it quite often these days. I was actually just playing around with this as well when it was night time, having zombies chase me and then just sort of placing lava. It's actually quite fun to use to fight mobs off. I never really use it, to be honest. I just think of it as a tool to kill things. I'm not evil, I promise. Oh, damn, I need another sign, don't I? There's always another sign. Yeah, I'm going to have to put some signs here so we've got a way of getting these mobs up. This will be fun. I'll have to go chop some trees down as well, but I can stick this in here for now. But yeah, that's pretty much all it's going to be to kill them off. Hopefully I can get the drops as well. But yeah, there's probably not going to be very many spawning at the minute anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Hopefully no one's going to come along and accidentally break this, because that's going to spill out all over the place and that's going to cause some problems. So I guess this is a chance to show you the tree farm as well, because I need some wood. So it's just a simple dirt, I was going to say ring, but it's a square, just so we can collect all the saplings together and then funnel them to one point. I only really need 1, so I'm just going to... In fact, we're not doing that, I might as well just... I'll sort it, that'll do. And as you can see, I didn't really plan out my base all that well, or at least the terrain wasn't quite how I needed it to be, so I'm going to have to fill this in. And with this section here, I'm not all that sure on what I want to do with it, but I've got a... Oh god, oh that was poorly planned. I've got a rough idea of what I want to do. Like I'm going to put a hole in this middle bit and then dig straight down, and then I'm going to have that as sort of the entrance to my main underground base, and we're going to have an exit just underneath here, so I've got a way in on this side of the building, and possibly another exit or entrance over here, but I'm not really sure on my plans. I'm just sort of winging it and hoping for the best, so sometimes that's the best way. But let's get these last signs in here, and hopefully we can start funneling mobs around. And of course I need some more water. Oh, what am I doing? So now if I'm a mob and I hold space, which is pretty much what mobs do, eventually I'll just hit my head on this and die. So that should kill them all. Hopefully I won't have any issues with things falling down and causing problems, but we'll have to see really. That should do the trick for now. Not really sure what to call that, to be honest. It's like some kind of tumour on my base, to be honest. Not a pretty sight. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Actually, just one more thing before I go. There was an idea for a mini game which I had using the relatively new feature with stairs that makes items bounce around until they fall off. You can make like almost bowling alleys with this, because if you what happened there? Yeah, if you throw an item, it bounces all the way down. So I have a plan to kind of make it's not exactly bowling as such, because obviously you can't really have pins that get knocked over at the end. So it would use weighted pressure plates, the gold ones, which have which output the same amount of or same number of redstone dust as it does items on top. So if you've got 2 items on it, it will output 2 blocks worth of signal. So I might do that and then have it hooked up to like a score system. But obviously I'd need like a channel like this, and then maybe some ice as well, which will spread out to maybe 4 or 5 different options, where if you throw the quote unquote bowling ball down the channel here, and it hits one of these blocks, and then it joins together to make 2, then that way you'll score a point. And I suppose you could have them set back at different sort of distances to gauge difficulty and points and things. I mean, it's just an idea. I've not really tried this out, so I might have to look into that to see if that would be an interesting mini game for maybe a spawn build, or maybe even if we have like a games area as well, that might be an interesting thing to add. But I'm going to have to look into that and see if it's actually possible. I think there should be a way. I mean, if not, you can probably use hoppers or hopper minecarts to pick things up, which will be interesting as well. But yeah, I'm gonna head off now because it's getting late. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.